Yeah, well, before we go into the update, I mean,
Yes.
it just, Julian did a report this morning and talked about how it all got started. It was a flare up again from the original Horseshoe Fire, right? And the winds just perpetuated it. Is that correct? It just
Pretty much in short.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
seeing the whole hillside it looks like the whole thing is on fire all the way down to 395. Is that true from the pictures,
No,
or no? It's not.
no.
So the pictures
Pictures
aren't worth a thousand words.
can be deceiving.
They're
Yeah.
deceiving there. How tell us how far down the mountain it is. Like, can you give us information like that about how
Yeah.
getting to Lone Pine?
So we're still working on getting a better map product. Typically with these sizes of incidents, we're a little strained on mapping capabilities, but if we do have maps available, I did upload them to the InstaWeb site for this incident. So if people want to look at the map, it's there.
No,
But
yeah,
InstaWeb.
Instaway. Okay, all right. Is that in that link that you sent us? It's in the
Yes.
press release. Okay, guys.
Yes.
CRWave.net.
It's a long URL, so I'm not going to waste time spent
No,
on air. But
but
instaweb.wildfire.gov.
you just got back from there.
Yes, I just came back from there to come here and
Thank
do this
thank
interview.
you for fitting us in. We really appreciate it.
No, I'm happy to be here. So we're looking real good on the fire.
Okay.
So
Is it raining?
it is raining.
Good.
It is lightly raining. They're expecting about an inch and a half over the next 2 days.
Okay.
So that does present other issues, right? So even though we're having Mother Nature help us with the extinguishing of the fire,
Mm-hmm.
putting moisture on it, keeping the fire within its current footprint, basically, we're going to have to deal with other safety issues, such as potential for debris flows.
Mm.
So
Oh yeah, because
so
the brush isn't there anymore.
Right. So, not everywhere, but in many places, the soil has been basically, denuded of
Wow.
vegetation. And as many of you know, on Horseshoe Canyon Road or Horseshoe Meadows Road, it's very steep. Lots of boulders come down. Lots of rock falls happen
Every year.
whether or not there's a fire.
Right.
And I'm sure many of you have experienced that. So we're really concerned about the safety of firefighters. So we're going to have to pull them off the line for probably most of today. I can tell you right now that whole area is covered in snow. There's driving hazards associated with all of that as well. So every day the firefighters go up that road and hike in a grueling hike to get to the fire's edge. So they're just not going to be able to do that today. If there were to be a debris flow, we would want to be able to get them out.
Right.
So that's a whole other issue.
What about air? Are they going to bring any?
No.
No.
We are not flying today. And again, there's enough precipitation out there happening that we're really hopeful that that'll help really put this fire to bed.
Okay.
Especially since we can't construct containment line around the entire perimeter of the fire.
Okay.
So I know a lot of times when fires are reported on, we talk about containment, and that's a word that many people are familiar with. But not all fires are 100% containable
Right.
by hand and hand tools and verification by firefighters on the ground and pole trailing.
So people know what containment is actually you guys digging around and creating a barrier where the fire cannot.
Cannot flop over
Right.
or go, oh yeah,
Right.
escape. So
So it
there's
doesn't have to be 100% contained to put a fire.
no. The way that we would make it 100% contained, or we would call it that, is we would incorporate or include natural barriers such as rocks, boulder fields, scree fields, stuff like that.
Okay.
But some of these areas are vertical rock faces that you would need to literally rappel down. So there's not going to be a way to put containment line up a rock face.
No.
Okay, so that's what they're dealing with in some parts of it, and that is the original reason why this fire was not containable back, in early November.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but we still have resources checking on it. And they're going to have to continue doing that with this one for a bit.
Right. Okay. So where are we at on it then?
So we're at 4,530 acres at 61% contained.
Okay.
Which is awesome news. We were at 30% yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're expecting Mother Nature to do most of the
Gonna help.
heavy lifting, or
We hope so.
yeah,
I
do you
it's
have to get back on it, or
what's that?
will you have to get back on it? Because you said you have to hike people in. Do you have to wait?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have we're gonna have resources on this for a couple weeks more probably. At least another week. We're trying to get as many resources back to their stations if we don't need them though, because we have the holiday coming up and we want people to be able to be with their family.
Right.
Especially with the firefighting season we've had. You can only imagine these firefighters and how much they've worked this year.
They're
And
exhausted.
we want them to be able to get home
Yeah.
and enjoy Thanksgiving with their families.
Yeah.
So if we can, send some folks home, we are.
Yeah.
But we're not taking resources off this fire. Like there's going to be people working it all through the holiday, provided that the weather permits them to do that.
Right. So, but no one goes back up until the rain stops, just because.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It just depends. I don't really have like a clear
Wait,
threshold.
safe for them to go.
Yeah, and we do have someone who is doing modeling as far as debris flows go, and especially in Carroll Canyon, which is where the Lavender Ranch is.
Did
So,
Lavender Ranch get saved, or?
there was some structure loss there. So that was the only place where there was structure loss. There's 2 residential buildings lost and 6 outbuildings total loss, and then 2 damaged? 3 outbuildings were damaged. And that assessment was done by our CAL FIRE damage assessment team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, and also shout out to CAL FIRE because without their help and their assistance and their resources, we would not been able to get as far as we have. So
Talking about
really
CAL FIRE, CAL FIRE San Bernardino, and you're mowing with what it is, right?
correct.
They still the lead on this?
So they're in unified command with us.
Okay.
So we're in unified command, Forest Service, CAL FIRE, Inyo County Sheriff's Department, and also Lone Pine Protection District. So we're all in unified.
Okay.
We're not out of unified yet, and probably won't be for at least a day or 2.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll probably be downsizing, looking to downsize the incident, maybe tomorrow or Wednesday.
Oh, that'd be good news.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So you've been busy all weekend. So
What?
what's for a day off, right?
we've all been working long hours this
Oh,
weekend. The initial attack, well, it's not technically initial attack because initial attack happened on October 30th. But the resources who were initially on this on Friday night, they were pulling absolutely wildly long shifts because we just didn't have enough staff around. So they're pulling, 38 hours of no sleep,
Oh,
like just
goodness.
working. So
That
we're
doesn't seem humanly possible.
these guys are incredible human
Wow.
beings. I'll just put it that way.
Wow. Well, thank you, Lisa, for coming in. Anything else you want to share about it? Or-
Yeah, I do. I want to
Yeah.
talk about evacuation.
Oh, okay. Let's
So,
go there.
we still have some evacuations in place. So, if
Okay.
you're not familiar with Genesis, be sure to get on that website. You plug in your address to see if you're, what zone you're in. It's kind of it's a newer system for the county, and it's working great so far. So, the sheriff's been really happy with it compared to Code Red, which is what was before. Right now, as it stands, we still have mandatory evacuation orders for the Horseshoe Meadows area. That's zone 223A.
Okay.
The warnings, the order for Lupkin Canyon area got downgraded to a warning. So that's still in a warning. The 2 zones are 195 and 197. And then everything else has been lifted.
Okay.
So good news for Alabama Hills, Boulder Creek,
Yeah.
those areas.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's great.
Yep. So the Horseshoe Meadows Road and Lupkin Canyon area, that's still, slight concern for potential for debris flows. So I also want to make sure people know to follow National Weather Service Las Vegas. That is where you're going to get your not only your weather alerts and weather information, but debris flow information. So they do put out alerts and details on that when they have it. And they're working directly with our professional staff on, the storm modeling and the watershed modeling
Yeah.
for debris flows. So
Just look up NWS Las Vegas.
yep.
You can get it on Facebook. You can get it on the internet. Great thing to follow.
Yeah, they're great about their updates. You can even sign up for email updates as well.
And they'll give them right away.
And then if anything were to expand, in severity as far as closures, evacuations, whatever, if you don't remember Genesis, if you don't remember InstaWeb, we get it. There's a lot of websites to look at. So we know your pain. Just go to Ready Inyo.
Yeah, Ready Inyo.
Ready Inyo. It'll have all of the links you need.
Yeah.
The Office of Emergency Services is awesome about keeping that updated. We talk every day. We have 2 meetings a day to coordinate things with the Emergency Operations Center. So we're looking out for you guys as much as we can. Just gotta pay attention to our socials and our websites.
There you go. Well, thank you, Lisa, for coming in. We really, really, really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
It was nice seeing you with Andrew the weekend over at Caribbean. So so it's the good interview. So
yeah, it was very seat of our pants. Seat of our pants.
Well, that's what this whole process was. But it's nice to be back. It's nice to have you.
Yes.
And we appreciate you as always.